Hey, I'm Neil. I work as a non-exec founder alongside some great startups, and over the past 30 years I've built multi-million pound businesses with my fellow founders. And today I'm sharing insights on how to discover your startup's missing piece, a guide to NorthStars and Magic Moments. Founders are often advised to discover their North Star or find their startup's magic moment. So what are these? Why are they so important? And how are they supposed to help founders grow users and/or customers and raise finance? In this video, I'll be taking a deep look into how to discover your missing piece, your North Star or magic moment, and I will show how it can accelerate startup growth and fundraising. This is the first in a series of 3 connected videos. The other 2 focus on seed fundraising and growth hacking insights, which you can find on my website or YouTube channel. Find that missing piece. Did you ever experience that special feeling when you near completion of a complex puzzle? You know, where the pieces seem to snap home without effort, as if your hand is guided by some external force. Or if puzzles aren't your thing, then after a long drive, the car seems to propel itself, to have a life of its own, as if it knows where it wants to go and you are just the steady hand obeying its command. Well, I guess that's what I'm trying to describe, is how you feel the moment you discover the missing piece for your startup. That serendipitous insight that can propel your startup to the next stage of growth with less effort and less stress. So grab a cup of tea or coffee. This is a long video, but I promise it will be worth it. North Star and Magic Moment. So to begin, what is a missing piece? It's a good question. What we are looking for, and I'm going to help you discover it and describe it and begin to find it, consists of the simple essence or singular focus, often called North Star or Magic Moment, that you use to direct your startup's resources, fundraising efforts, and drive user and customer growth. What I've discovered is that it doesn't much matter whether you grow your startup through investors' money, your own money, or customers' money. Your ability to identify and stay headed towards your North Star lies at the heart of what successful founders do when building their startups. Oh, and of course, the fun bit is that the startup North Star tends to drift and move. So the what is our North Star is a question to keep asking to make sure you still have the right focus. So as we ask what is our North Star, we also need to ask, will it always be this North Star too? Essentially, if it isn't absolutely clear what your startup is focused on, typically the problem that you're solving, then neither you nor anyone else, frankly, will want to or should invest, and customers will struggle to buy your product because they will remain confused or uncertain. North Stars and Magic Moments are ways to singularly describe that problem in a way that galvanizes and focuses your resources. There are exceptions to this, of course. For instance, where your startup is still at an idea stage and when you're figuring out a lot of stuff. However, until you have passed this stage, heavy investment of either time or money is unwise. Okay, North Star, what exactly am I talking about? Let me take you through a few steps to explain this. Growth hackers have a formula which helps explain, and it can be adapted for any, including your startup, to help focus on what matters most. Here it is. Growth equals top of the funnel times magic moment times product. I'll define each part below, but note how each part magnifies the total growth. That means if you build a unique product but fail to create magic moments or top of the funnel engagement, you will see 0 results. Likewise, great marketeers without a great product will fail too. You have to conquer all 3 at more or less the same time. Note also, growth hackers use the term magic moment, so it is the same as North Star. Essentially, the magic moment is something that users or customers experience, whereas North Star is the metric that your startup tracks as a way of imprecisely measuring those magic moments. Obviously, the North Star isn't a precise measurement of customer experience or magic moments. Rather, it is an abstraction that stands in for any other better measurement. So let's define top of the funnel, magic moments, and product. 1. Top of the funnel. Top of the funnel is how suspects become prospects, by connecting to your business. Marketeers talk about funnels as they seek to bring as many prospects through a narrowing funnel and to the ultimate destination of becoming a retained user or repeat customer. How you define the point of connection is up to you and your startup. For instance, if you are a physical shop, you might count the number of customers coming through the door. But for an e-commerce site, you might count arrivals on your website, return visits to your website, or number of people who add an item to a shopping cart, etc. If, on the other hand, you're selling a complex service, then probably an email list is at the top of your funnel. 2. Product. Here we typically mean how good is your product or service at bringing back customers and users again and again without push notification or advertising. This is typically called stickiness. If, however, your startup is a platform or a marketplace, then your product is a combination of both the platform and the inventory that you or your users have loaded and the ease with which users and buyers can access what they want. 3. Magic moments. Of the 3 parts of the growth formula, the magic moment doesn't have such a clear definition. For you and for each founder, the magic moment will be something different, something unique, a vision or an insight into what really matters for your customers and users. Improving top of the funnel acquisition or product development is largely a process or a journey which can be mapped out, and with good people and good data, it can be growth hacked and optimized. A magic moment, however, is whatever you decide it should be. It is the founder's special sauce, the special insight you have into your users and customers. Your startup's magic moment is a choice, a decision to prioritize this over that. The choice is made from your gut feelings, sure, based on years of experience and many customer encounters, but it will be what you believe moves the dial in the biggest and most impactful way for your users and your customers. Remember that the magic moment for your startup is a description of how your users and customers feel. It is the point where your user or customer says, wow, I have to do or buy this. Enabling magic moments are the one thing that you would focus on if you were forced to choose between the 3 parts of the growth equation. That's because your choice of the magic moment is what makes you different, unique, and interesting. But how do you focus on enabling magic moments? Well, initially you build or create or offer what you believe to be a wow, I have to ... moment for your users and customers. But having built it, or an MVP version, then you will want to measure whether your users and customers are or are not experiencing it and then behaving as expected. Or indeed, if your magic moment isn't quite magical yet, or only magical for certain groups of people, or in special circumstances, etc. To summarize, your magic moment is the essence of what makes your startup unique, different, and special by creating unique user and customer experiences. Whereas the user and customer acquisition techniques and product development, whilst not entirely predictable, are hackable. And your NorthStar is the metric that you use as a proxy to measure the success and impact of your magic moment and how many people respond to the magic moment in a positive way. Now, hopefully, you can see where fundraising fits in here too. Investors are also looking for startups that possess one single knockout factor, your magic moment, that sets you apart from incumbents or legacy businesses or indeed other startups. And where you have the ability to track and grow the number of customer magic moments, your NorthStar. So how do you find your missing piece, your NorthStar and magic moment? Well, the best way is through examples of startups that discovered, lost, and then began to rediscover them. First up, Uber. A magic moment for a customer of Uber's taxi service is when you open the app for the first time and see that there are cars that could pick you up right away. Wow! It is especially true that if you're in an unfamiliar city or location where you don't speak the local language, or it's an odd time of the day, this available now service is amazing, incredible, magic, right? It makes you want to say, how do they do that? So far, so good. Hence, Uber built a pricing model to encourage drivers to be available at busy times and hence deliver an always ready service. And no doubt, Uber will have tracked how far away a cab was from a potential customer, measured in minutes, the NorthStar. However, once Uber reached the just 5 minutes away availability, customers treated this as available now. Hence, the continued focus to improve availability from 5 minutes to 4 minutes and then 3 minutes and then 2 minutes didn't move the dial for customers. A customer's view is that 5 minutes away is the equivalent of available now, so why would they value a taxi 2 minutes away more highly? They didn't. In other words, the NorthStar of minutes away that drove Uber to add more drivers and capacity so that people could get a faster and faster response stopped having any impact once they reached ready in 5 minutes. So what is Uber's NorthStar now, you might ask? Good question. And why are they now delivering food, Uber Eats, and even vaccines and other packages? Uber have switched from ready when you are to whatever you want now. They've switched to availability with ubiquity, the anything and everything now model that Amazon moved to once it stopped being an online book and DVD store. Hence, Uber's NorthStar, measuring distance from customers in minutes, took their business a long way, and then it hit a wall at 5 minutes. And then they had to redefine their magic moment, their unique quality, and focus their NorthStar on anything available now too. Similarly, Facebook's early NorthStar could be defined as connections, so that the more connections you or I added, the more valuable Facebook became, the more we would experience that magic moment of, wow, look, all my friends are here. However, once you or I reached 120 or so connections, then we moved from sharing with trusted friends and family to sharing with more distant acquaintances. And once we no longer amongst our trusted tribe, we became more hesitant to share personal news. You can guess the rest, right? Oh, and kids aren't engaging much with Facebook because their mum and dad and uncle and auntie and granddad are on it, and they can see what their child or grandchild is doing. For time-poor middle-aged parents, Facebook might seem like a brilliant thing, but for kids, the same service feels intrusive. One person's magic moment is another's get me out of here. Of course, Facebook's customers' magic moment is when advertisers see that they can micro-target groups of people across huge populations. This explains why Facebook bought Instagram and WhatsApp and targeted Snap. However, without users, and especially young ones, Facebook will eventually decline. Hence, the Meta experiment is an attempt to create a new magic moment and most likely focused on younger users. Quite what that wow Meta experience is, I don't think any of us know. The aha moment. I know this is a long video, so if you got this far, thanks for being with me. And here's the aha moment for me. I work with teams to raise seed rounds, and we focused on the factor that drives the multiplying network effect and why that factor will continue to be relevant in the future. That is because, yes, many early multiplying effects fade, and VCs have now learned to be more suspicious about a startup's ability to maintain the multiplication effect. Hence, whilst VCs ask about your network effect or multiplier factor, and growth hackers speak about magic moments, and others ask for NorthStar data, it turns out pretty much that they're all looking for the same thing. In other words, the magic moment is one side of the coin and the NorthStar is the other side of the coin, but it is the same coin no matter how you look at it. This insight that NorthStar, magic moments, and network multiplier are essentially different ways of expressing the same thing solves a long-running question that I have had, and maybe you have had too, which is, should our startup focus on customers and users or investment? The answer is, of course, both. They're both driven by the same magic moment or NorthStar, that is, the ability and hard work to distill all the noise and customer needs or demands into one critical user and or customer experience and identify a method to measure and track these. That's why for me, this was an everything falls into place or the puzzle pieces fit themselves moment. It no longer matters whether you seek to raise funds or sell more. Both should be driven by the same thing, moving the needle or shifting the dial on your one critical factor for your startup. Hence, your growth marketing plan is focused on increasing the number of people who experience your magic moment. Your product development plan too is focused on creating bigger and better magic moments. And if you're seeking funding, then your investment pitch is about your NorthStar metric. Show how it's growing rapidly and why it has a multiplier effect that will see your startup grow in the years ahead. So what matters is that we find, really find our NorthStar, the measure of our magic moments, and then direct all our resources, no matter how limited or how excessive, into improving that one factor. And if we achieve this, customers will give us their money, users will give us their time, and investors will knock on our door. So what's the coaching question from all of this? It really has to be this. What is your startup's NorthStar metric? How does it connect to your startup's magic moment? And will it be the same if you are 10 times or 1,000 times larger? I'm Neil Lewis and I partner alongside founders. If you like this, you can check out more of my stuff at mediamodo.co.uk, like the video or subscribe to my channel below for startup insights.